Hello and good day, people, and welcome to Down to the Core. My name is John.
My name's Jacob.
And we are on episode number 20.
Yep, 20,
yeah, got it this time now. Got it this time. And today we have our special guest. We have Dan Jones.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing? You okay, Dan? Yeah,
I'm very well, thank you.
Right, so let me just kind of like give us a quick preface. So a lot of the time we always have either gym owners or brand owners, or whether they do yoga or sports or whatever. But like we always like to say there's all people have always got a story.
Yeah.
And like obviously I know you from the gym. Obviously you're obviously more acquainted with Jake from the gym. And obviously you reached out to us to say like obviously you'd love to jump on the show. I'm like, but you know what? And I thought to myself, you know what? Why not?
Yeah, it's sick.
I think once we kind of like realised that obviously part like some of your stories, like that's definitely worth. We want to come and pick at you a little bit and like you can let us tell us some more, and also because there's maybe probably people out there who can probably relate to your story as well. So
exactly, 100%, man. But cheers, Dan. No, thanks for reaching out, man. Thanks for reaching out.
No, you're welcome.
And like to anyone who's watching this and just go, I want to be on the episode, just reach us out, man. You know where we're at. You can follow us at jwright.pt. You can follow at John at
John Collins _online_coach.
Or you can follow our Down to the Core page at Down to the Core with 2 underscores.
Down to the Core __.
That's 2 underscores, yeah. Yeah, just message us and we'll reach back to you, and hopefully we'll get you on the show. All right.
One more thing before.
I almost forgot.
Before we get started, so if you're watching this on YouTube, obviously we have to describe. But like today, obviously we've done like our boot camp this morning.
Yeah.
So me and Jacob do a boot camp every Sunday morning at Pesnick Community Centre. But we had someone who's starting like their own clothing brand. He's been knocking around for a little while, and the brand is called Gym Cartel. And he was kind enough to donate some t-shirts.
T-shirts. I mean, I'm looking at the screen now. You can barely see it. So if I can turn around, can you see?
No, we don't see your bum, Jacob.
You want some of my bum, but if you say the Gym Cartel on some of there. But
You tell me, Jacob.
Oh no, that's a really embarrassing bit. But yeah.
So shout out to Gym Cartel.
Oh yeah.
And, so if you want any gym apparel, just give him a shout or go and have a look on his page on Instagram
at the Gym Cartel. But let's get down to business.
Right, so you know what? Because like obviously we sent you over like some like questions to like listen, give us like a little breakdown of like obviously what you've been doing and what you're doing and everything else. Because usually we can look on someone like Insta and go, well, we know there are this, and this. So could you just tell us a little about obviously firstly like obviously your background? Where you from?
So I'm originally from West Yorkshire.
Okay.
One of 4 kids. We moved down to Telford, quite a local area. It made me sound really old. In 1989, and my parents got divorced, and we kind of stayed in the area. And then I kind of through work moved across to this side. So I was working in Willenhall, and then kind of Sedgley, and then I ended up in Stourbridge, and I've kind of stuck around here since then.
Oh, cool,
and that's how I ended up around here. Work-wise, after college, I was kind of at that stage where I was like, I don't know what I want to do. So I just kind of fell into bar work, and then one manager, a chef, had walked out one day, and when I was at college, I'd worked at KFC, and he was like, "You're a cook. You can go in this kitchen and be a chef." And I was like, "Okay." And then I just kind of fell into that. Didn't really enjoy it at the start. It was quite a stressful one-man thing, and but as I got better at it, I kind of really enjoyed it. And I still do. I still do dabble in cooking and chefing now, but I wanted to get out of it when I had my son. Because obviously chefing, not so much these days, it's changed a lot, but back then it was like 78-hour work weeks, and then obviously having a newborn child, I was like, and then more forward thinking, I was like, you know what, when he's at school, I want to be able to take him to school. I want weekends with him to do like, the family stuff. So I got into sales then, and I was stomping around Birmingham city centre selling pencils for little to no margin for a company, and then someone reached out to me to get into recruitment, which was specifically in the steel industry, and I've done that ever since, really.
Okay, cool.
And after I was one company, and then the two directors kind of fell out, so that company kind of just disappeared. I went to another company, and that's when a lot of people started branching off and going on their own. And I was kind of, you know what, all I'm using here is your computer and your phone. I can do this on my own. I don't need, like, I'm using your brand. It's me that my clients are buying off. So set up by myself in 2017. And then more recently this year, I got headhunted by my current company to do what I've done in the UK in the United States. So that's where I am currently. I'm trying to build, successfully building a steel recruitment business in the UK, in the USA.
Oh, okay. So, whereabouts in the States? Whereabouts?
So when you first start, like, you don't really, like, obviously, you know, the States is big, but like it's so big. So like, each state is like two UKs. So there's so much to go after. So it's like, so predominantly we've got an office in Florida. But obviously because of the time difference, we tend to try and stick to the 5 and 6 hours time difference. So you'd be taking calls at like 10 at night and stuff like that. But it's really, it's so much fun, but they're so more receptive. So they take calls before work, so you can be on the phone from lunchtime speaking to candidates, and then obviously then you can start making your calls to like clients in the afternoon. So it's a huge challenge, but it's really like found my passion for it again.
No, that's good. That's nice.
Because when you work for yourself, so the reason I got into recruitment, I really enjoyed sales, selling a product. But obviously, when you know the cost of the product and you're selling to smaller businesses, I always had this like guilty conscience of like, I'm selling you this like for, I know it's business, but like, and after COVID, you know, like, so many businesses went out, you know, because of COVID. It's like, you know, so I was kind of like scraping more profit off, which ultimately was affecting my bonus. But I just felt really guilty, like, and then I thought, you know what, I can make money in recruitment, and I am kind of helping people better their careers and move forward in their lives, whether it is time or a bit extra cash to help with families, young families. So I kind of, that's why I got into recruitment. Don't get me wrong, it's like really well paid, so I'm no saint, but but you feel generally better for doing it. And it's not, it's, I work with more corporate businesses now, so
no, that's cool.
How did you find that transition, like going from obviously from the beginning of like obviously doing like the sales of like selling pens? Because like obviously that stuff kind of interests me. That like obviously you go, I don't know, they say selling, but like was it a big transition? Was it scary? Was it something which kind of you kind of fell into easy?
So I always, the product's the product. So selling a product, if you've got use for it, people are going to buy it. People generally enough, I mean, I imagine that business model's completely changed now, because not people are buying rubbers, pens, pencils and paper as much, because we're more in a digital age. But the product's a product, and I never look at like what I do now selling. So more selling now is me selling myself into clients and the services that I can provide. And that more is time, because there's no quick fix in recruitment. If you go out in recruitment and you're going out chasing fees, you know you're not going to build relationships. Like the best clients I've got, so I've kept 2 UK clients on since I've moved across. And other clients still reach out, but it says in whether it's more worth my time. But it's more your time and dedication that you're selling in. So it's realistically, you need no more than 10 clients that have between 10 and 20 jobs a year. Any more than that for one person is too much. So that's that. So you just need to sell your passion for the industry. And I speak to people and why are you so passionate about steel? And I'm like, it's like everywhere. Everything you look at, it's steel. Everything you use, the components and metals in these microphones, everything. It's it's not going anywhere. You know, it dips with the oil and gas, which is more. It's going to sound really boring now talking about metals.
No, it's interesting, bro. Interesting.
But I just got really hooked, and my friend that got me into it, he loves it as well. I just find it really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's like an age-old, industry that's been around for hundreds of years. And, like when they close like the foundries in like the I'm like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Why do that?
Well, I suppose this is the thing, because I think I always pull people up when they say, "This doesn't sound boring." I'm like, no, it never sounds boring, because like your passion is your passion, and you find you get whatever you get from what you enjoy. So like it's never for anyone to take that away from you.
Exactly,
So like
I know, but like even clients that speak to me like, why do you love steel so much? And I'm like, why don't you?
Yeah,
You're selling it.
Yeah, but it's like that with like, if you flip it with gym stuff, like why do we like going to the gym? Why do we like doing this? It's because mental health, it's better strength, like it's the longevity. I'm passionate, like I want to see people get stronger, I want to feel healthy, feel more excited and love their lives a bit more. I love going to the gym, and there's some people going, well, I like doing it, but I don't like it as you do. So we all have a passion for everything. So that's brilliant how you sold, like you said, it's about selling the passion. Like you sold, I didn't realize, that's still wow, I didn't really thought about that. So you're selling it there, so that's very good. So you've convinced me to go, you know what, I should really love steel a bit more. So
you'll be looking around.
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
I think the other things to ask you, because like obviously you mentioned, like obviously you're a parent as well, So how did you kind of like start to find your balance between like being a dad and the career and everything else? How do you find that? Because it sounds like you've got like a demanding job at the same time, but like I mean, I'd say unfortunately, but me and Finn's mom, we separated when he was about 14 months, and it wasn't a horrible split or anything. We just had reached a point where I've said this to my friends, when everyone gets really excited about having a kid, and don't get me wrong, it's the best thing in the world, literally, but the pressure, like if you've been in like a loving relationship with someone, when you get a kid, that relationship is never the same. Never the same. Would you say because it transfers? Because obviously I've been in exactly the same, because like it transfers, then doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you both got like a common cause, and then obviously you kind of forget about each other.
Yeah, and this is why I have friends that have been married for like years and years, and they have date nights, which is so essential if you want to keep that part of that relationship alive. You need relationships. Everyone thinks you think, I want to find a great relationship. You don't find a great relationship, you build them. So me and Finn's mom, we have and her partner as well, we have a great relationship, but it didn't start off great. Because we were ironing out things. It was all new. I was getting used to being a single parent because I've always been very actively involved, pretty much 50-50 split, which I'm very thankful that I've got. A lot of people say, oh, that's really good. And he's like, well, I'd have him 100% of the time if I could. But that's just not the reality. The transition, I mean, so when I was working at Spoons, it was so hard because I'd be doing like 13-hour shifts. And then because I was a manager, if someone phones in sick, you've got to take up for that shift or try and cover it. And we were running at such low staffing levels that it was just never that, never that easy to get people to come in and cover you. It was hard. I was so tired, like literally so tired constantly, and angry that I wasn't performing as a parent the way I wanted to, as a partner as I wanted to. So I felt not like a failure, but like I was underperforming massively, and that did take its toll, along with what I said about the kid becomes more important. And it was a very, I think if I remember rightly, we'd gone down to Brighton. I think we broke up on Boxing Day on the way home from having a Christmas together, and it was like it was like a weight had been lifted off both our shoulders, to be honest. Transition, but then it was just all hard because becoming a single parent, I obviously had to move out of the house, and then obviously provide still financially for the child. I'd taken like a massive pay drop to go into sales because of the bonus potential. So then I ended up staying on at the pub part-time anyway. And so I was working 2 jobs. So I think 50% of the time I was literally work. And then 50% of the time I was a dad. And obviously when they're that young, it's not like you're constantly on it. It's not like, you put them to bed 10 minutes, try and do something. Oh, I'm crying again. You're just constantly on call. So it was very difficult, but I had loads of support from my family and friends, like loads and loads of support.
Which makes like a hell of a lot of difference now, because I think even as you're telling your story, I think like obviously I've gone on the same kind of route as well. So I've always been actively involved in my son's life and doing stuff, and obviously I get along with like obviously his mom and like their partner and everything else. So, but like I think initially in the beginning, it's because it's all so new. You've never been down that route before. So somewhat, would you say like it was like, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this, or it's almost like things that's being dropped on you here and then. You're like, what am I meant to be doing with this and this and this and this?
Yeah, I suppose I felt washed up.
Yeah,
I felt like going forward, I always thought it's always easier for girls in that situation.
Yeah,
because they can move. Women are so good with emotions and their feelings; they just deal with them like that. I think with men, it's a lot different. And I just felt washed up. I felt like I wasn't going to move forward. I felt like no one's going to be interested in me. Like, at that time I wasn't working out, so I didn't have that helping me as well. So I just felt like, I don't want to say failure because that sounds really harsh. I think
sometimes the way if you can look back and explain, like when you say like I felt like a failure, like I think that's probably, it's a real feeling of how you actually feel. I think like I stopped trying to do that. I'll tell people, don't reword it, say what it meant, because say if you're able to talk about it from this point of view, it means you've got past it. So it was a really strange time, and I learned a lot about myself in that time. Like I always said that I never wanted kids. And as I was turning 30, I felt like there was something missing in my life. So with Finn's mum, we broke up for a period, and then we got back together, and that's when we had Finn. And I never felt like it was necessarily that relationship that like I felt that was missing. But then when I found out she's fallen pregnant, I was like, that's what it was. That's what I was missing.
That's what I was missing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Which is purpose.
Yeah.
A life without purpose is not really a life worth
purposeless.
No, I like that. No, I really like that.
No, I can totally reconcile. I didn't turn it on until I was 30 either. So like, if you almost would you say it for like an on switch?
Yes.
I know I've got to do now.
I didn't grow up until I always feel like I'm a decade behind. So I'm a 45. I actually feel like I'm 35 right now. And that's not through like anything other than personal growth and learning more about myself. Because I think from my 20s were just a massive pisser. I worked in pubs and I was a DJ. I was DJing, so like 4 nights out of the week I was DJing, so I was just constantly out. I was irresponsible. I must have made so much money in that time. I was so irresponsible. It just went on like stupid clothes that I wouldn't even wear now. Like,
I know what I mean. I like what you said. Like, even though you're 45, you feel like you're 35. I have moments like that. Like I'm 31 in 27 days. But there's days where I don't feel. I still feel like what? There's days where I feel like I don't feel like I'm 30. Like I'm still 20 or like in my early 20s, and I go. I feel like what I was when I was about what. I just feel like I don't. What should like a 30-year-old think?
You know what? It's bizarre. Cause like I think like as men, we kind of grow up. I think we grow up a little bit later, don't we?
Yeah,
definitely.
I've said this for many years, but like this is probably the first time I've said it out loud. So people, I don't mind saying it now, because before I'd be like, grow up a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I think we do, because ultimately, like with when you do have kids, or whatever, like obviously women are the sole kind of. They're with their mom all the time, aren't they?
Yeah.
And obviously, so we still get time to kind of just do whatever we do.
Yeah.
And before we get up to that point, we're not thinking about like our wedding suits and where we want to live with our wives, or we're just like living in the moment.
Yeah.
Buying clothes, playing arcade
That's
machines, doing shots, dancing on tables, and doing all that kind of madness. And like, and we're just kind of interested in what we're interested in.
Yeah.
Whatever's bringing us joy to that moment in time, that's what we're locked in on. So
God, that's spot on.
I was just like locked in on like clothes, cars, music, and raves, and that was my life. That was it. There was nothing else that you couldn't talk to me about anything else. Talk about where we're going, what I'm wearing, what if I can buy something new for my car. I've got another amp to make it louder, and that and those are things.
Yeah, like, I think mine is just gym, wrestling, cartoons, or superheroes. That's all I know, and I think I know because my clothes I wear are still there. So like my partner, she still goes, like she just looks at me like, "You wearing another superhero t-shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's just like, or she just looks at me like just judging me. I'm like, what? But yeah, I'll never go out of that. But when you just did that, I started laughing. Going, yeah, that is definitely me. I'm still getting excited over like Power Rangers, superheroes. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Like, it's true what you mean. Like sometimes it's. I think as we as men, we kind of like grow slower than women do.
Yeah, I think most definitely, because I think like women bases, excuse me, but they just want to get their shit together from very early, and like I think they're thinking about it from early days. Like obviously when we're still playing in mud, like they're still playing.
Yeah, we're not even thinking about it.
You know what? I've always tried to date women that have kids.
Yeah,
and then like the women I have dated with kids, I'm like, whoa, you're like so more advanced than me as a parent. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
They're just like the calendar, like on this date. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've only just started using a calendar about say a year ago on my app. So like obviously, everything was all I winged everything for the whole of my life. But like you could see where sometimes like where we end up having arguments with partners and whatever, because they're like, well, I told you from about 4 weeks ago that we was doing this on this date. And like, well, I don't know, just tell me the day before. But like obviously, like everything is, they can be very organised about stuff, and then like they'll probably look at us and go, you know what? Yeah, you get me so angry because like you know what? We know you're doing this, and like you're like, I'm ready, let's go.
Yeah, it is straight. Like even now, I'm like, I'll be ready in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just throw some, and I'll be fine. Like,
I think that's probably what infuriates them a little bit sometimes.
Yeah,
the fact that like obviously, like between us now, it's like someone said, something's going on tonight, and it's a black tie event. And we go, is Muriel still open? I'll go and grab some from down there. Bam, I'm ready. Let's go.
That's it.
Where obviously women will say, well, right hair, done nails, done eyelashes, this and that. So it all takes organisation, and then they're saying, okay, so who's gonna have the kids and where they're gonna stay, and that. So they've got a lot more to think.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think especially like, or if you like meal out with the lads, you can just go, oh, fancy some food. Yeah, where are we going? Nando's. I'll be ready in 5. I'll be ready in 5.
You know, it was my birthday recently in October, and they were like, everyone, where are we going? I was like, Birmingham. Yeah, but what exactly? And I was like, I don't care.
We'll get there when we get there.
I'll meet you at 1. We're going out. That's it.
Where?
Are we going to do activities?
No. Yeah. No, that's funny. That's so spot on. So spot on.
So so just bring you back a little bit, like because there was something that like I was going to ask you about. Obviously, within your bio, it said like you were like lost 10k.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about as well. Yeah,
and so 10k is a lot of money. Obviously,
oh yeah, this. I thought you were on about weight then. So we're talking about
no.
Have I?
Yeah, because like the reason why I kind of like locked into this part of the story, part of your story, because like, as you say, when you were obviously, was this after you were split up, or was it?
So this is when my mental health, and I actually had a public breakdown on Facebook, and so basically I got married in 2019. I think, if I remember rightly, this is how terrible men are. I think it was May the 29th we got married, and I think by November the 28th she kicked me out, and me and my son were living there. She kicked us both out, and I was like, okay. As I said before, though, I did play my hand in that, and I accepted my responsibility for my behaviour was wild. But I never really say I had a marriage. The marriage never really got going. We had a wedding, and then it just all fell apart for various reasons. Some were my fault, some were her fault, but it just didn't work. We in reality, I should never have got down on my knee. That's the reality of it. Is it should have been a summer fling. But you live and you learn, as they say. So as I say, we were asked to leave the house. I say I was asked, and obviously Finn came with me. And I was for December that year, I sofa surfed for like the entire December. I didn't tell Finn anything, so I didn't want to ruin his Christmas. I didn't have my computer. I couldn't work because that was still at the house. All my stuff was literally all still at the house. And this felt so rough because the years leading up to it, I'd started my business, and we were living such a good. Well, I say we were living such a good life. We were doing a lot of things that, like, I'd had really good years, earned lots of money, bought a new car. The house was paid for. We were going out. We've been to Barbados, we've been to Cuba, we've been to Mexico. Like, we were living what some people would term our best life. My head wasn't there. Like, all this stuff, great stuff was happening. Or you say it was great, but like my head was just all over the shop, and I felt miserable. And it was my ex-wife that first said, "I think you should go speak to someone." And I was like, "Okay." So I did. I went to the doctors. That's actually the last time I went to the doctors. That was 2018. And the first thing they were like, "Do you want some meds?" And I was like, "No. I'm not going down that route. I don't want to do that." She says, "Well, you can speak to someone, but there's like 6 months waiting list." I says, I'll wait. It's fine. As long as I know I'm actively doing something about it, I'm okay with that. It ended up taking three months. And I had all these sessions. And it was the first counselling or therapy I'd ever had. And it was amazing. All this stuff from my childhood that I completely forgot about, and behavioural traits, and all this stuff just came, and there was no real purpose for nothing massive had happened. There was no real purpose for the therapy other than me sorting out my head, and it worked. And then 2019 came, we got married, it fell apart, and I ended up moving to Bromsgrove, staying with my friend, and I got my computer back, started working, and I was like, I think within the first 2 months, I was like 10 placements. I was like, this is great. It's going to be like the best year ever. March, lockdown, lost all that money because no one started their jobs. And I was like, oh, here we go again. This is something new. But I really enjoyed lockdown because that was the final piece of me getting out of my misery of the divorce. And I just started working out. I started running, and I started doing a lot of HIIT classes in the garage and pull-ups. And at that stage, I think I was about 14 stone, but I was skinny fat. I was really out of shape, like to the point where I wouldn't look in the mirror. Horrible kind, like skinny with a beer belly. I was like, this ain't right. And I had been working out previous to that, but I guess just all the whiskey from the divorce just didn't help. So I just really, I quit drinking, I quit smoking for the whole lockdown, found somewhere to live. So I was staying at a friend's, and it was this lovely apartment for me and Finn. And then we went back into Christmas lockdown. So I was like, oh, this is a real test because I had people around the last time. This will really test like on my own. And I did really well. And then 21 was a good year for work-wise. And as I say, I was starting to make placements, and I started building my money back up because I was in quite a bit of debt after the divorce. And then, the end of 2021, my account got hacked.
Wow. And
just loads of different transactions took all my money. But they were that clever. They would ticking the I accept that this could be fraud. And just I was like, I just never got it back. And because I'd worked so hard at getting myself into a better space, that just was like being run over by a truck.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't so much the money, because you can always make so much money. It was what the money was going to, it was the fact that I'd done it through adversity. I'd worked hard through lockdown, everything, and I'd build it all back up. And that hit like a ton of bricks. And I had a very public meltdown. It was all over my Facebook. I had to move out of my house because I was paying my rent 6 monthly, and the rent was due. And I was like, well, all my money's gone, so can't do that. And my next invoice wasn't till the January. So luckily I got to move where I am now, which is my friend's dad's apartment. It's a lot more modest, but like it's home. I'm not one of them that's like bothered by like status like that. But the start of 2022 was like so rough. And that's probably the worst my mental health has ever been. And that voice in my head was very, very, very loud. I think at that point I'd gone back to spoons because I need to get some form of income. So I was working all the hours I could. I didn't have a car, so I'd saved up in January, bought a car, had it for 2 weeks. It got written off. I was like, Then I'd gone out in Birmingham, and my phone and wallet got stolen, and I was like, this was in 3 days. Then the Sunday after, I took my dog to the park, Oscar, and he got attacked by a Nikita. And I was like, what is going on, man? I was like, I'm just going to go sit in the house and just stay away from, so no more bad stuff can happen. But I always feel like you do kind of attract where your head is. You attract that kind of negativity.
I believe that 100%. So as I'm listening to you telling what you're saying, I'm like, this, because like when I hear people say, I've got no luck, it's always me, I'm like, but I feel like sometimes what you just said there makes perfect sense. Like one bad thing starts to happen, and then you'll go, oh, what next? And it's almost like you kind of look for it, and then something happens again, and you go, oh, what's next? And then something else will happen, and before you know it, it's kind of like a snowball effect.
Did you say that? Like, how many? But the more stuff kept happening, the louder he got in my head. Yeah. And every morning I'd wake up, this voice in my head would be like, you're a piece of shit. You don't deserve anything. I hate you. You're an idiot. You'll never be shit. Look at how many times you've tried. You're just going to keep failing. No one likes you. No one loves you. You're a burden to everyone. Just constantly, like every second, every day. Woof, 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 woof. I was like, and the only way at that point I could make it stop is to drink. And then, that's obviously not a great solution for anything. But it was a really rough time. Really rough time. But I just never have any give up. No.
When was the first time you saw a bit of light after like that moment, would you say? Because I think like as much as we go through something, I don't know if you can remember it, but sometimes like you have like that kind of, let me just do this, almost like a thread or something, or like a bit of string you can just kind of grab onto.
Gym.
I
focused because I was still kind of cruising at the gym. I'd go to the gym, and I just was like, I'm going to put a stone on. I'm just going to eat loads, lift loads, and put a stone on. I think I got to 16 stone. I went a bit too much. But yeah, it was just literally right, work, gym, and Finn. And that was it. I just literally focused on becoming a better because when you go to the gym, you're not just like, it's the mental challenge as well as the physical challenge, because it's very easy to say, oh no, that's too heavy. Like earlier, I went to the gym earlier and I meant to put 5s on my inclined bench. I ended up putting 10s, and I went to take them off and I was like, nah, just do it. And I did 10 of them. I was like, but I'd have just gone back to 5 automatically. And I was like, nah. 2 years ago, I probably would have, no, I'll just get the 5s, or just, take them off and just do another rep of that. But like, it's breaking them mental barriers in the gym that really, really pushes you forward so much.
Would you say the gym's like giving you like a as you just said, like a push, or is it kind of helps you kind of structure the way you kind of see things now, or the way that you do things, the way you attack things?
Yeah, definitely the way I attack things, because I never thought at 45 I'd be sat here in the best shape I've ever been in my life, and I am. I took so I've obviously, I think we'll probably get onto it, but like, I'm doing a charity fight.
Yes.
And after my birthday, I was like, right, I'm locked in now, because the lad at the gym was like, we can probably get you in end of January, February to do your charity fight. Because originally I was going to do a white collar. I hate head guards. I can't wear them. Can't, they make me feel close. I can't have that on my foot. I'd rather do a novice charity fight. So I was like, right, I'm locked in. So I started a new diet, and I took a photo. I think it was on the 20th of October. And then I took one the other day. I was like, the first photo, I was like, oh, I'm in good shape. And then I said, I was not in good shape. What the hell? And my coach was like, you know what that is? That's leveling up. And I was like, because now that's your reference to what you looking in good shape is. And I was like, whoa.
And it's right, because like you'll probably get this as well now, where you, because like obviously you've done the photo shoot, I've done competitions. I've got myself into such good shape, but then anything after that, it's almost like that's all right. Anything, But even though like we can be classified as being in decent shape, but you would still be like, nah.
No, it's true.
Yeah, it's not like that. You probably look at your photos and go,
I'm good.
But,
I mean, there's days where I still do that.
But like that, I think that's I think that like that's always a damn good reference, because it means that like, I just always want to. I would tell people I don't want to be that guy in the gym years later and say, "Well, I used to look like this." No, I used to be the guy and getting out your old photos like from 20 years ago. No,
and like especially when people say, "I want to look like what I was 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, even 5 years ago." And sometimes you ask them, and you just go, "Okay, where were you like mentally wise 5 years ago, or when you had that body? Where were you mentally that time ago?" And they're like, some majority of them, I was in a dark place. I hated myself. I didn't like where I was going. And like, so there you go. Do you want to be in that position again? And they're like, no. Then also as well, some of them, you go, okay, what's happened during this time? Like, guarantee you, like as we've got older, new responsibilities are thrown upon us, especially now. Like, got your own kids and stuff. You've got your own kids, so you've got to cater to your children. So you had more time then to focus on you, didn't you? They're like, oh yeah. So guarantee that body, that physique you wanted years ago, nah. I guarantee that person, your personality, you look in the future going, I want that. So that's spot on, Dan. Lovely, love it, man.
So how long have you been doing your boxing training for now?
I've been going about a year and a half, but when I started, it was Finn that wanted me to start. So he's been going. This is going into his 3rd year. Finn's getting really good at it.
Cool.
And we tried loads of sports with him. He didn't take to karate. He didn't take to football. He just didn't take to anything. We even tried to go to Geek Retreat and get him into Dungeons and Dragons. He was like, nah. But he's always, because obviously being a single parent, there's been times where he's had to come to the gym with me. And when lockdown, the summer one opened, we were at David Lloyd's in Bromsgrove because the pool was open. So I joined us both. But then he started coming in doing the treadmill, and he'd go on the bags. He was actually my friend. We used to train in 2016 in Kidderminster, and Finn would have been about 6, yeah. And my friend used to do a bit of pad work with him, you know, like, can't do a bit of thing. And it's just always stuck with him. So when I'd be working out, he'd be on the bag just punching.
Yeah.
And I spoke with his mum, like, maybe this will give him a bit going into his GCSEs, a bit of discipline. It's good training. And he was just like, I really want you to do it, Dad. And I was like, why? So I can spar with you. I was like, oh.
like Loki again, so I can knock you out. Dad. Come on, what you say?
It turns out he doesn't enjoy sparring with me. But yeah, I mean, that was like one of the best things ever. Like, we went down on a Saturday and he was like sparring with him. It was just so much fun. And just watching his progress. We went last Monday. He did sparring with all the kids. And he'd leveled up because I, as a dad, you're always on it. I'm like, you're not hitting that bag hard enough. You're not trying to tickle the bag. Come on, do it with a bit. And I think because he's at that age where he's still not that comfortable hurting people. Yeah, which is a good thing.
It is. You know what? Yeah, I think like he's gonna have to grow into that.
Yeah,
he's actually have to grow into it because like I realised that like obviously obviously when I was younger, like I wouldn't get into things because I realised if I'd done something to somebody, it'd hurt them, but I'd get in trouble for it. So it's almost like when you're saying about with emotions and regulating and where can I do it, where can't I do it? Is that okay? Is that not okay? There's so many questions going on. So
yeah, there's a lad there who fights loads. He's really good with the kids. Aaron, and he'll spar with him because he's a big lad. And we were talking about it the other day, and I said to him, I just wish Finn had like put some intention in some of his punches. And he went, you know what it is, Dan? The world needs to hurt him a little bit. That's where that comes from. That
true.
The world needs to hurt him a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's right.
It's horrible to say, horrible to think, but it's right. No, it's right.
I've never heard that before. Like it makes so much sense because think about it. You don't want him to be hurt. This is like a big light bulb moment for me. It just landed. So you kind of protect them because you don't want to hurt them, but you want them to obviously get some anger and aggression. But where are they meant to draw it from?
Yeah, exactly.
If they've never been hurt, because you've always protected them anyway. So I've gone through things, and like, my level of anger will draw me through things. Yeah, but like I've been hurt. But like when we've been hurt, we just don't want the kids to feel none of our hurt or we've been through. So,
but you never really know true happiness until you've had real horrible crap.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It's like balance.
Yeah,
you need that balance.
It's like trying to be successful. Like you need to fail multiple times before you start seeing success. Yeah. So it is true. Like you need to be hurt a little bit. So something, and I think some people might go, oh, but like, no, it can be like the simplest things is not getting his own way or he's not allowed to do certain things. So, and that gives him quite that anger. So then when he has hit the pad session, you can use that, you can draw it on and just hit it. And they're like, all right, that's the power. Like when I do Muay Thai, like my instructor is like, hit the pad harder. And I'm thinking I am, but it's like, no. Hit it harder. So then I'm drawing from like anything that's just caused me a bit anger, and I'm like hitting the pad, and he's like, "That's how you hit the pad." And I'm like, but you do actually go, "Oh, I actually feel good about that because I've actually lashed it out." And it is true. Like you need to experience some hurt in order for you to grow, and that's a really good concept. Moving forward, about
yeah.
Again.
So what's the reason behind the boxing?
This is a sad story. So basically in 2022 in summer, my Aunt Gertie died. She was from Holland and married to my Uncle Jonah. So Gertie, when she was, I think it was 2003, maybe 2004, she had a quadruple stroke.
Is that like a stroke like 4 times or is just she was completely dependent on care, and for the entirety of since it happened, my uncle cared, he's like the most wonderful man ever. It's really like a heartbreaking story. He like looked after her from the get-go. So he'd work full time. He obviously had carers in when he was at work and stuff, but then literally was just
with his wife, and so she sadly passed in 2022, and then 2023 my uncle passed, and this was truly sad because he just bought himself a camper van. He was just like getting out and starting to, I don't think you ever truly move on to something like that. Like that's like a life romance, because I'd never known them not be together. They were always, like, from the day I was born, together. And he passed, and he was every Saturday there's this thing in Wolverhampton called Stroke Society, Stroke Club, and it's where stroke survivors go, and they share stuff that's going on in the community. They arrange days out, they go watch Wolves, they go to the theatre, they, so all family members that have got people that have had strokes, they all get together. It's such a lovely community. And I said, when originally the plan was to do a bike ride from where they passed, Albrighton, to where Matt Gertie was born in Holland, which was like a 500-mile bike ride. I'm not built for biking. I would have done it. Yeah. But then, obviously, I got into boxing, and they were like, why don't you just have a charity match? Yeah. That's something you like. It makes more sense. It's like, if you're not into cycling, you're going to find that. You should always do stuff that you find tough, but like getting punched in the face or someone trying to punch you in the face is pretty tough. So that's how that came about. And like, to be honest, it should have happened sooner, but I've kind of floated through this year, so it hasn't. But it's all set to go now because various things happened, and you just kind of. But I think, we've got it going now. So, but that's the reason. It's it was a horrible time, really horrible. Because my uncle was like that, the one in the family. He was the one that would always let us, like, he was the one we'd always have a beer with. Always the one. He used to drop so many, like, just drop gems. I remember after my aunt had died, it was my nephew's birthday, and we were at his christening in Whitchurch. And it was 2022. It was when I was having that rough year, I'd said. And it said to me, "Oh, Finn's such a lovely, polite kid." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." That does mean a lot. You know what I mean? I said, I just wish I could give him more. Yeah. And he went, "Dan, what you want about?" He says, "Sometimes I just feel like I'm." He goes, and he was like, "Dan, what are you actually talking about? You give him the most precious thing that people neglect the most, and it's the one currency that we never get back. You give him all your time. He will remember that more than anything you'd ever buy him or do with him. It's like the stuff you do with him. It's like, don't worry about all that crap." And I was like, you make me cry.
It don't. But I think as you get older, we kind of these things start to make more sense. Yeah. As where I've seen people like their parents will just buy them anything they want, and they've got it, but they've got those things. Say they might buy them this computer, then after a while, the computer goes out of date. They might buy them like a console, then stop playing the console. Might buy them clothes, and they outgrow the clothes. If I was to ask you, can you remember about 4 or 5 items of clothing from when you was 14? What your mum and dad bought you? You can't remember, can you? But if you say to them, I say to you, can you remember where they took you on a holiday, or when it was sunny, or when it rained, or when something happened? That's more something which you'll carry with you a lot more than.
I still take where my dad used to take us. I still take Finn every year. We go to Abu Dhabi and Tawin. So it's the best ice cream in the world. You need to go. It's really good. But he just, like, he was that guy. And I think there was a time later on in my aunt's life where she got particularly bad. And not that he was struggling. This is the thing. He was that guy that if he was having the worst day ever, he would still make you feel better about yourself. He was that guy. And, I think there was a time where there was a consideration, maybe she needs to, like, go into, like, full-time care. And he went, no chance. He said, I married that woman. I still love her from when I married her. I said, for better or worse, I got worse. Doesn't make any difference. I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, wow. That's sick.
Wow.
That's powerful. That is. No, that's very good, man.
So that's how the fight came around. It'll be all.
Are you looking forward to it? I'm just saying, like, there's many things that, like, I've tried, but I've never really I respect anybody who does any kind of like martial arts, fighting, full contact stuff to the highest degree, especially boxers. I've always, you know, what, it doesn't matter what other martial arts do, but boxers especially, because like they're doing this, and there's such an art to it. It's not just swinging away and doing haymakers. When the more I kind of look into it now, and like obviously, you know, the more I look into it, the more I kind of listen to like guys and what they do, obviously when they fight. It's some super technical stuff.
It's like playing chess.
It is. I didn't realise up until like a few years ago how much of a kind of a
really quick chess as well, because you've got to figure out as soon as they come out of the gate what their game plan is.
Yeah,
like,
breathing, footwork, obviously watching body movements, head movements,
the
twisting, bobbing,
stuff,
weave. And I'm probably not even doing it justice to say like the least, but like how are you getting on with it? Was it harder than you? Have you ever done anything like that before? Like obviously boxing.
No, do you know what? I was surprised at how much I enjoy getting hit in the face. In a controlled environment. Yeah. No, I haven't. To be fair, it was always something I shied away from because I've never really. I'm quite a calm person. Well, no, I am a calm person, but I do have a dark side, and it's the calmness that keeps the dark side at bay. Because that dark side has not really ever really come out, but glimpses have, and it's just horrible. And it's not a side of me I like at all. But so this is why boxing, it controls that. And so in every aspect of your life. And this is one of the things coaches was always saying to the kids, you know, putting yourself in an uncomfortable position will teach you so much about yourself. And then when you are in more uncomfortable positions, you'll deal with them better because you're used to being uncomfortable and you know how to hold your grace as a man, and how you know I used to be very emotionally charged and react on emotions, and I've misrepresented myself so many times doing that to the point now where like nothing really bothers me.
You know what, I'll get that, and I suppose you probably get it as well now, because like, you know, when you obviously, I'm just going to throw this to Jacob quickly. Now, like when you start, like doing kind of acting and whatever, and you realise you had to kind of just put you somewhere and the camera's on you. Yeah. And then you're like, right, everyone's watching me. I've just got to do what I've got to do. But like, you know, like moving forward past your acting, would you say like obviously that's kind of giving you like that thing to say, well, that doesn't really bother me too much, because I think the same as with you, same thing with me, and probably same with yourself. It's like obviously I've gone on stage and I've gone up there kind of sprayed in spray tan and grease and whatever, and like I'm standing there doing some moves, and I'm thinking, if I can do this, I can do pretty much anything else. But like
I think like I'm getting used to it now. So obviously my background is acting, and obviously when I was doing filming or just doing theatre, like I just switch and just be in acting mode. Like I'm being performer. So Jacob's like locked up, just chilling, just sleeping the time being. So I was always in character mode, and for that I was just easy fine. So if someone told me, right, like doing a film and I'm like pretending I'm hurting someone, like I'm fixed on that person. And it was only when like I started to dabble with the online coaching and started talking to a camera, I was like, oh, this is weird, because that was not me. And everyone's like, but you're an actor. I'm like, no, but and I went, no, it's different. Like I don't, because that's Jacob's chilling. I'm so and so now. I like, if I'm Batman, I'm Batman. I'm not Jacob. I will be Batman for the time being. So when they went, right, be yourself, that was a bit alienated to me now. So when just going through doing the works and stuff, I think the very first time I actually spoke to a camera as me, I did go a bit, but now I've got used to it now. I think I've managed to find that happy balance between
this is what I was trying to get at,
and actor Jake. But I think most people have known me going, yeah, you're like that. without the camera anyway. So I found the good blend between the two now, but that took me some time to get used to now.
I think basically what I was trying to get to with this is like obviously having that do what you said, like doing something which is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So much, and you realise that like, hold on, it didn't take my life. I didn't lose a limb. I'm still breathing at the end of it, and like I would have thought everybody was laughing at me or looking at me and staring at me, but like nobody really is, because like people haven't got that much of an attention span to kind of give all their time and energy to you or me or even you. But like it does open up like you to be able to do more. And would you say, Bill, you give you more confidence and so?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the weird thing about me. Well, it's not weird, but it's just the way I've been. There's a version of me that people know.
Yeah.
That isn't the real me.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the real me. And that's the way I've made it. Because for so long I was afraid to let people in.
Yeah.
And really let people see who I really was, and this goes back to like when I was a child. If I'd like, the moment you start letting people is when you're the most, being the most vulnerable state.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had this facade for so long, especially when I was DJing and doing stuff. Like I was known as like a bit of a party boy, or dancer, life and soul of the party, always dancing first on the dance floor. And it took me ages to realise that's not actually who I am.
No, yeah.
Because I operate well in social like situations, and I can talk and do stuff, but like genuinely, I'd just rather be at home with my dog. You know what I mean? Like,
but you know what? I believe we've all got because like, there's a side to me, and there's a side to each one of us. It just depends on who you are. But I've been just like using myself as an example. Like there's a side to me that my mum sees. There's a side to me that my friends see. There's a side to me that people in the gym see.
Yeah.
And there's a side to me who people in the professional environment see. They're not far away from each other, but
different versions.
Different versions. But like it's not like you were saying, just it's like like people. Oh, John, you got loads of mates. I'm like, no, I know a lot of people. I've got loads of mates. I know a lot of people. Oh, John, you can do. I'm like, but it's. I don't think anyone's really meant to know everything about you.
Yeah, no, that's true. Especially like, so at the gym, everyone's like, "Oh, you're just loudly McLoudly. I can hear you before I see you. So just loud and just won't shut up." So that's one. Then at home, like my mom's like, "You're this permanent 4-year-old child, just like running around asking what's for food, being busy." Then I'm with my partner. I think she sees the hybrid of me. so like just a good blend of everything. But then some of my mates, like they see me as just like the laid back, quiet one. Then my other mates probably see me as just like the complete opposite. So I think not everyone sees the real you. Like there is, like you just said, there's always like that deep root of, oh, that's me, but it's only heightened in certain environments.
I don't. As I said, like I don't think we should ever have to kind of just be one role or one thing. When someone will say, "Oh, you're not like that," I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm more comfortable with these people here being like this." Yeah. It wouldn't be too great for me to. It's almost like when you dress to go places. Like you can't go like to a formal office party in tracksuits, or you can't. There's no point coming to the gym in a 3-piece suit. You probably make it good, but like you know what you can. When the second you walk through the door, I'm like, I want some fashion advice from this guy here. But like, but I think what I'm trying to say is like,
I'll go places that you do know where you are. Yes.
Yeah. but that's
move though.
That's being comfortable. I suppose the other thing as well, as I'm just about to say, is I suppose goes back with being comfortable within yourself and who you are. So I think I would say we're all kind of work in progress.
Yeah.
But like I just know that like I am one certain way around one set of friends and the other, but like the base of me is always the same. But like it's just like, well, we do this here. There's no point me talking to my friends about like obviously gym and that their thing is football and vice versa. You just kind of make people feel comfortable.
You know, I'm getting to this. You know, when people ask like, "How's the gym?" You don't care. Why are you asking?
Yeah.
Why are you asking? You don't care. Just like my photos.
You actually say because like I had a conversation with my friend yesterday. We were saying like as you get older, you almost like you just give a damn less. And I think that's
it's true. No, it's definitely true.
But I wish sometimes we wish we could. We give a damn less as we get older, but we kind of like scrutinize people who don't give a damn from an early age. But we don't know whether it's just like they don't know how to kind of.
It's weird, isn't it?
Navigate it.
It is. Like, I remember. I had no right to be as confident as I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Like I was balding.
Yeah.
From like the age of like 19, I like was really bald. Yeah. So I had to shave my head off from like, I think I was 23. And then I grew like a beard. Then I was really scrawny. But the confidence I had, I was like, where's all this from?
Yeah.
And I never had none. I didn't have any. I think I just kind of like winged my way through things. I was lucky just to have like cool people to hang around with and just kind of blend in. Like obviously like, they was like I was cool enough to hang around with them or be around them or just pardon at the time. But God forbid anybody like really kind of put us underneath the microscope and realise that there's nothing to me at all. The probably was I just didn't know how to kind of put it out there. But I think like that's like another thing. Like you see with confidence, you always want your kids to be confident and whatever. But sometimes we can be so confident and like you don't know whether like it's doing them any favours or whatever.
I mean, Finn's really confident to be fair, which is really good. I think the boxing's helped with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he grew. I mean, so he's ginger with glasses, and he grew out a mullet, like the American, like, and he was like, oh, they say this at school. I was like, do you like it? He was like, yeah, keep it. Yeah. Like, if it was me as a kid, I'd have been like, I need a haircut.
Yeah, no, it's true with certain styles. Like I can remember when I was going bald. I think like I can always remember I was watching a camera footage of me because someone lost their phone. So there's where'd you last put it? So I looked through the CCTV footage, but because I saw the live footage of me watching me looking for the phone, I just saw this massive strip that was just like receding. I literally went right now. That's gotta go. So the following day, I went to get my hair cut. My barber at the time, he like eyes just exploded, popped out. He's like, bald. I was like, yeah. And he went, oh, fair play. And I can always remember doing it, and like all I felt, my heart was going like, because I've never done that before. It's always been a skin fade. So I can always remember I walked out and I was thinking, oh my God, what have I done? But then I think I was just trying to compare any like male role models I look up to who are bold. Well, The Rock's bold. If he can rock it off, so can I. So I walked off, listened to The Rock's theme song. I was like, nah, I'm fine now. But then like then I can always remember my brother when I came back because I didn't tell him my mum and dad. I went, oh, I'm just getting a haircut. And then okay, no worries. And I came back and like the eyes were like just wow. And then my brother was just like, I want that. So it's true. Like it's just the certain confidence levels. But like for me, when I see other men like so solely balding, I start giggling like, you're one of me. And like and I know some men are really really conscious about their hair. Obviously, I'm being devil's advocate. Oh, come on, it's fun. Bold life's fun. Like join the fold. It's so fun. But then like I understand how some of that's their identity.
It is. See, weird kind of conversation come around to you talking about hair, but like basically,
absolutely.
Hey,
I'm just holding on to the last few wisps of mine.
I'm surprised I still got mine.
This is like a Batman's version of a comb over. But we'll talk about that another day. But like you can see how some of these things can like obviously reverse it back around to women again with like their hair, like how much it means to them because it's like their identity. But I suppose like if you can realize that your identity comes from within and not with like the way whether it's like a beard or hair, that's just like the style that whether you like it.
If you see me with hair, was not good.
Yeah, it's weird when you look back at pictures when you had hair. You're like, yo.
It was. I looked like a crackhead Ryan Giggs. It was bad, man. Really bad.
No, I can remember I was flicking through my Facebook memories and I was just like, yo, I had hair. But then even like everyone's like even my partner, she's like, nah, I prefer you bald.
Yeah.
I'm like, so
yeah, I think it's like when I look back at photos with like no beard on there. I always,
Yeah,
I always feel.
you're like,
I said to someone before, I'm like, I look a bit untrustworthy.
I look like a
I
thumb.
don't trust him with no beard.
I look like a thumb. I look like a thumb. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't. Well, I like winter because I can just grow it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes in the summer I do trim it, and then I immediately regret trimming it.
Yeah.
I can't go as low as yours is, and I'm like, oh, I look like I got a really short head.
No, I can always remember my last photo shoot. Like I was like, right, I've got a month before, and I'll just like sharpen up a little bit, then let it just grow about, then sharpen, then redo it. I remember I cracked my head open, and I was like, oh, sorry, I just let it just grow out. My beard was just this big, and I've always like, yeah, I want to get a big beard. I want to get a really big beard just to see what it looked like. And then at the time, I'm like, nah, I look good in this. I look good. Then looking back now, I'm like, yo, I look like
I get
homeless.
so far with it, and I start. You always know it's too long for me, because I start doing it.
Yeah, when it starts
If you
getting,
used to see me from a distance, you'd think I was like a little bit special or something. Like,
yeah,
I'm always doing it.
whiskers. It's when the whiskers get on your lip, and you take a bite of something. You're like, ooh, what was that? And you're like, oh, pull some hair out. Yeah, but no, it's just mad when it's weird to have hair. And like, I don't know about you. Do you know when like you get like, do you get to barbers to get nice trim? Yeah. I can always remember my barber, shout out Aka. Like he kind of looked at me and he just went, "Have you ever thought of a hair transplant?" I got a I went, "No, I actually like being bald." Actually, he was like, "Mate, you got decent hair." I was like, "Nah, I've chose the bald life and I love it."
I even thought at one point I was like, I think I was still in my 30s, and they did a tattoo line.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'll just bick it every day. It's fine.
Yeah, it's cool. I like the bald life.
Best thing for bicking it as well.
Gives you
shower gel.
Yeah,
shower gel.
Okay,
because it's so
I never really thought about
that. When my time comes around, I'll give that a shot. I'm holding on to the last like 17 grains that I've got.
You've got full head of it.
Yeah.
No, not really. It's it's just like the good lighting, and like when it's growing back, it just looks like someone just done this. You know, like when you kind of like put like you shaded something, you just rub it out. And you put like a shiny bit in the middle. That's the back of my head.
I just buy loads of caps because how expensive haircuts are these days. I'm not getting my haircut every week, so I just buy a new cap.
Yeah. So anybody wants to know why I've got a cap on? So when I've got a haircut, and my barber is actually a plastic surgeon. He does magic.
I'm impressed with the shower. Do you actually just get a normal shower and just wipe in your head and just pick it off?
Just lather it up and then just.
I might try that. You know, I've always are you shaving foam?
So guys, the cameras are still
they're still rolling, and they're like, "What are we chatting about?" Like,
yeah, right.
Like, all our fans going, "Yo, what are they chatting about?" Like shaving your hair.
Anything about my story?
But
to shave your head.
Yeah, no, but I guarantee there'll be some fellow ballmen going, "I'm going to try that." You know.
Oh, listen, there's a tip there for someone.
There's a tip there for someone. So yeah, shout out, try that tip, and let us know what you think.
Excellent.
But yeah, should we all wrap things up, bro?
Yes, man, most definitely.
But yeah, no, thanks so much, Dan. It really, really appreciate it. Well, love hearing your story, and like that's the story that everyone needs to know and stuff. So I really appreciate it. So, where can we find you on social media?
So if anybody wants to kind of follow you, obviously we've got your boxing and stuff,
yeah. So it's Dan15 1079.
Yeah. And
so Dan151079. Is that your Instagram or?
That's my Instagram.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah,
Instagram.
Socials.
And when's the fight?
It's not been confirmed, but beginning of February. Obviously, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, that's decent and stuff. And where can people like donate to the charity?
I'll put the link.
Oh, the link on there.
I'll put the link in my bio actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My, Instagram.
Awesome, guys. But yeah, fans again, thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate it. Once again, you can follow me at jwright.pt.
John Collins _online coach.
And also you can follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Down to the Core with 2 underscores. without further ado, Dan, love
Thanks,
it.
guys. Thank
Have a
you.
nice day, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Peace.